44 states marry children. Ain't no difference. They just dressed it up like they getting married. They playing house with the children. So you playing with a real master. That's what you're doing. Your government is playing house with your children while they trying to act like they real men. It's no real men exist here until you confront that. No. You don't have the luxury of talking about you a real man. I don't care how much you work. You can work till your balls fall off. You can work till your balls fall off. If you still got 44 states married children, I don't care about your work ethic. You cannot say you're a man as a country with 44 states with child marriage playing house with children. In military, you can't sit up here and talk about, well, we're not part of that. How are you not part of that? You define this country, actually, don't you? Well, let's say one thing is for sure. You preserve the 44 states that marry children, now don't you? Yes, you do. Every time you out there as a National Guard, you're preserving a nation that has 44 states with child marriage, whether you like it or not. I didn't ask you if you liked it. This is the facts. What you gonna say to that? I want to know what you're gonna say to it. I want to hear Joe Biden talk about it. I want to hear one of these people. I don't want to hear no religious people. I don't want to hear no religious clergymen talk about it. You know who I want to hear talk about it? I want to hear these politicians sitting up smiling all the time. I want to see them talk about this. I want to see them explain this. I want to see them explain it. Never seen them, did you? Did you ever see these politicians explain 44 states with child marriage? Did you ever hear any politicians at all explain child marriage in your country? Did you? Oh, and guess what? When the presidential debates go on, do you hear anybody talking about child marriage and changing it? Nobody's concerned when we have these presidential debates, are they? With child marriage in your country. You ever heard them discuss this as a topic? You heard any of the people that the commentary or whoever? What's the technical name for? I don't know what the technical name is, but the people that ask the candidates the questions during the presidential debates. Do you ever hear them ask them questions about child marriage and what they're gonna do about it? How you ain't never heard it, have you? You ain't never heard them ask those questions, nor did you ever hear a candidate or did you hear a politician talk about this. But you steady putting them in office. You steady putting them in office. And that's why you're destroyed. Because God, that's a moron move. You're like a moron. Who is that dull of thinking? Who is that dull of sight and hearing to where your whole country and culture does not know in America, supposed to be the greatest country in the world, 44 states is marrying children? How do your whole country and culture not know this? Yeah, buddy, you barked up the wrong tree playing with me, buddy. Because not only am I beating you through Christ Jesus in his kingdom, you're destroyed from the information that I have right here, which proves the Bible true. God's people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge, and even human beings can be destroyed by things they do not know, and this has proven fatal to your integrity and your character as a country. Well, you don't have any integrity anymore. You just passed the last one. For people that just don't think this is relevant, I can't stress this enough. The last law was passed 38 months ago. That's their integrity and character. Did anybody disagree with that? And see, what you want to do is, oh, this is one of our bad issues. No, not this time, buddy. This is the issue that has proven fatal to your integrity. Nobody trusts no integrity of people that's marrying children. And if you don't have any integrity, you don't even have a country, now do you? The greatest country in the world, marrying children. Very quiet out there, ain't it? I know you got me under surveillance. But you don't want to hear this part, do you? That's why God chose me to do it. You all put me under surveillance, and when you came and gathered around to listen to what I was saying, guess what I was saying? 44 states, married, children, boom. That's a 7. So you ain't have no choice but to hear it. Because you put me all under surveillance and watching everything I do. Now you heard this and you can't unhear it, can you? Like the young folks say, you can't unsee this. You can't unhear this. You got 44 states with child marriage. You can't unhear it, buddy. And you see, you lost your country. And you know the first sign of loss? There are steps. Do you know the first step is? Denial. That's the first step of loss. When you lost America, when this was revealed, the first step is denial. You're in denial about this. It's gone. It's gone. All that culture of music and movies that get you pumped up as an American. You know, some of these Americans, they watch Rocky and they go out and think they're going to serve the country as some great American patriot because they didn't watch all the Rocky movies. You don't listen to all the rock and roll from the 80s. You don't listen to all the hip hop from the 80s and the 90s. You know, the real grimy New York hip hop. You got military that's white and black. White, black, and everything in between. And they get hyped up on their culture. And they think they're going to fight people like the likes of me. How you going to fight me when you got 44 states, married, children? Ain't no way you can fight me, buddy. I don't care how much grimy 90s hip hop you listen to. I don't care how much Rocky movies you watch. You ain't going to beat this. And guess what? Here's the punchline. The good part of your culture is more attached to me than you. The good part of your culture, the things that come off as honorable, good, excellent, that's more attached to me. Well, I'm the one that's practicing excellence, am I? Well, you got anybody else in this country revealing 44 states, married, children? Then I'm practicing excellence. I'm practicing excellence. All the things of the culture that are good and excellence, I'm reflecting that. What you reflecting? Ignorance. Sitting up here dumb. Don't even know 44 states is married children. And the government sitting up here wicked, the one passing them. The last law they passed, like I said, 38 months ago. So I want to see how Joe Biden looks. Go ask him. I want to see how he look. Well, this is what I think he'll say. Well, you know, we really have redefined, we don't really know how to define the age of children as adult. We've had this long history, and it's like, okay, none of that long history is not going to stop from the death blow of you just now passing 38 months ago, July 1st, 2019, child marriage laws 3 years ago. A year before COVID is when it was passed. 2019 is a year before COVID. So I don't want to hear nothing about long history. You should have knew from your long history not to allow that. That's a 7. Ow. You should have knew from your long history. You should have knew from your long history of what you've been doing to not allow a law July 1st, 2019 to be passed that allows adults to marry children. You should have knew from your past. So how did it get through? How did it get through all these politicians? How did they even sit down and take this seriously? Is what you should be asking. How did they eat breakfast, go to government facilities, and pass these laws with a human conscience? We'll go through the reality. They got up, they ate breakfast, took a shower, and went and passed 44 states, married children. Oh, well, let's talk about the last one. That's what I want to say on that one. They got up, they ate breakfast, they took a shower, kissed the wifey, kissed the husband, left home, got in the car, listened to some music, pulled up, probably had another snack or something at a government facility, And with an American politician's conscience, an all-American conscience, they passed a law July 1st, only 38 months ago, that allows adults to marry American children. That's a 7. See, you thought it was only one way to be destroyed. That's the cautionary. America's a cautionary tale at this point. A tale of a country that thought it could not be defeated by weapons. A country that boasted about its strength all over the world. Boasted of its quality all over the world, right? Boasted of its greatness all over the world. To fall and succumb to destruction because of a lack of integrity and character. Well, you can't run a country off of where you got the civilians in the community, in most military and police and black organizations and white organizations completely protective over children, and then you have a government that is marrying children. You don't see the clash? You don't see the clash that's coming. When your whole community has believed in this government, it believed in these cities, they believed in New York, they believed in Los Angeles, they believed in all these great metropolises. They believed in you. Just to come to find out that by law, your government has been passing child marriage laws where adults can marry a child. This fills up your world that you call America. Yes, such an issue of child marriage. It fills up your world. You can't put this in the closet. You can't put this down in the basement like some pedophile dungeon that you're ashamed of. No, it's right there in the living room. In fact, the politicians that passed it is right in your living room through the TV. The government that has not acknowledged this is right there in your living room on TV. Why you trying to hide this down in the basement as far as your conscience goes? Yeah, it's already over. It's already done got nasty. You know why? Because you're living in a psychological realm. You're living in a space cadet realm. Yeah, you thought I was the space cadet. How am I the space cadet when none of y'all know 44 states marrying children? Looks like you out of space, big baby. Boom. Ow, that's a 7. Who's the space cadet? Huh? By any stretch of the imagination, between me and your nation, who's the space cadet when you got 44 states with child marriage and y'all don't know nothing? Where you at? Out of space somewhere? I thought you was here in America. So who's the real space cadet? Partners? Huh? Let's talk about it. You scared, ain't you? You scared, ain't you? Because reality is setting in. This is real. I'm not telling you no bedtime story. I ain't telling you no tall tale, some folklore story. This ain't a fish story where I caught a big 19-foot fish and it didn't happen. This is not a fish story. Go check your law system. I know you don't have the capacity to realize that this surrounds your environment, whether you like it or not. It's all in your fabric, in the fabric of your environment and culture and community. Whether you want to accept it or not, it's in the fabric. It's not a little leaf that you can just sweep away. I know you want to sweep it away, don't you? You want to put it in the dustpan and throw it away, don't you? All those good old little women down in Arkansas that sit up and support their presidents, rain, sun, or shine. You want to sweep this up in the dustpan and throw it away, don't you? Bless your little heart. Unfortunately, this is not going anywhere. It's just getting started and revealed and exposed. And we're ready for the enemy. Anybody want to jump? I got 44 states, married children. I don't think you want to play with the man that's revealing that. Well, it's a lot of spirituality here, as you can imagine. Because this is very important. You're playing with almost a destiny moment, like something that was supposed to happen kind of thing. So if you're playing with that, we're going to destroy you. We're going to easily destroy you. God is just letting you get warmed up and then break you down. Yeah. And while you're still riding around right now, you need to understand you got 44 states with child marriage as we speak, as I speak, as you listen. You got 44 states actively marrying children today, September 29th, 2022, 8:06 in the morning, Eastern time. You have 44 states with child marriage, buddy. It's over. And you should have knew something like this was going to happen. You should have knew. What you thought? Has been getting worse. They're beginning. And see, you don't really know how bad it is, do you? I know. They show you little stuff on TV. You think that's how bad it is. You think it's just that bad, the stuff you see on TV, don't you? You think that's how bad it is. Unfortunately, this is how bad it is. You got 44 states with child marriage. That's how bad it is in America now. 38 months ago, they just passed another law under Trump's administration. This is that allows adults to marry children at any age. They started out with 20 states. I think they started out with 12 states. They went to 20, and then now they're down to 9. But they're moving now to make it look good to you, to make it look like that's the minority of thought. But you go back to the original. That's all you got to do. Well, why did 20 states have it going on? Oh, those people just turned over a new leaf. They just changed their minds, although they banned it in in their state. Well, the people that passed it in the first place are not the people that banned it now, are they? Well, why would somebody pass it and then ban it? So other people opposed it, which means the people that had it in the 20 states that started at 12, I think, 12 states, went to 20 at its peak. Those people are still out there that passed those laws. And guess what? Not only that, just being 3 years ago, they're still active in politics. Whoever it may be. I don't think they just went away. Even with a changing of administrations, they didn't go away. So they still out there. The people that passed these laws for 20 states in America to marry children. Now they got it down to 9. But the people that passed it and made it 20 states are still out there. That's a 7. You didn't get rid of the people. You didn't get rid of the problem, in other words. You think you did. And see, let me check that part too. If you got 9 states that's doing it, let's break down one state. Let's break down one state because they wanted to clean it up and make it look good to you. They try to put some of it in a dustpan and throw it out. Let's break down one state and how big one state really is. One state has many, many counties. Many counties, not just one city. I got to open up your mind. I got to show you what's going on. One state has many counties, right? One state has many counties. Look at all the counties that's in one state alone. Now imagine just one state with all those counties allowing child marriage at any age, meaning they can marry any age of child, which is at least at minimum down to 12 years old. And think about one county, many counties. Just one. Think about one. One county. All the neighborhoods in one county. all the boulevards and avenues in one county because they trying to make you feel like 9 states ain't that bad. Well, let's break down one county. One county, not one state. One county within a state. You know how big that is? You know how many square mileage that is for the average county? That's bad. That one county is bad. One county is bad, and it proves my next point. If you was really trying to say, if you really wanted to protect children, if you really cared about protecting all the children, you would have the capacity to see that one county, let alone a state, is horrible to have 44 states, to have child marriage at any age. One county is horrible. People would hate that county. Yeah, you know about that county over there that has no minimum age? People can marry any age of child in that county? That's a crazy county in America. We got to do something about that. Why your politicians don't see it like that? Like one county would be bad. Like they would have to stand up in front of the whole country and say, we got to handle this one county. You see where I'm going with this? This one county that has child marriage at any age, we got to take care of that county. In other words, you should have some kind of ongoing controversy, politically speaking. Even like if it was even one county, like, yeah, we got to handle such and such county because they have child marriage at any age at this point. Right now in 2022. But you don't have that situation, do you? You know what you had? You had 20 states with it. That's what you had. You had 12 states starting out, I think. Then 20 states. Can you imagine each county in 20 states? Or even 12, or even 9. That's what they got now. Can you imagine how many counties are in 9 states? All those counties, all those neighborhoods. Like I said, one county will be crazy. Can you imagine how many counties there are in 9 states? And you act like I'm the foolish one by revealing this. They the foolish ones by passing this foolishness. You shouldn't put me in the blame, and I don't feel bad about it at all. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm tearing down the hypocrites that walk around, talk about everybody doing stuff with children, try to act like they child protectors. I'm tearing that fake hypocritical image down. And I didn't need a movement. I didn't need you. I didn't need anybody. And people, you can't isolate me. You cannot isolate me. It's not working. I'm talking to Russians. How are you isolating me? You think you are, you're not. I'm doing something right here while you think you isolating me. Yeah, I don't care how many, I don't need 1 million views on all that. The culture has already been watching, so they know anyway. Yeah, you a fool. You thought you was gonna isolate me and make me look crazy. How you gonna make me look crazy when you got 44 states marrying children? How can you make me look crazy when the reality is you are marrying children? It's one thing to say, oh, well, there's UFOs out there. The government knows about it. What's the other thing they be talking about? The reptiles. Yeah, there's reptiles in the country. Yeah, they make those people look crazy. You can't make me look crazy. How you gonna make me look crazy when none of y'all know 44 states marry children? You gonna make me look crazy? Good luck with that one. And some people would say, well, if he's crazy, that's what I want to be. If he's crazy, I want to be that. Because he's the one telling us this, that we've been sitting here like idiots and morons with 44 states married children. Whatever we are doesn't mean anything anyway, in other words. Whoever you think you are, it's nothing when you have your country. Now, like I said before, it'd be one thing if you wasn't running and raving and yelling all the time about children and child molesters. It would be one thing if you really didn't care about children. It would be one thing if you wasn't hollering from the ghetto to the White House about children all the time. It'd be one thing if you wasn't doing that. It'd be one thing if they didn't have all these child commercials on and all these, if you were molested by clergy, those commercials. It would be one thing if they didn't have all those clergy molester commercials. You see them all the time. But that's not the case. You always doing it. You always talking about it. And that's why I'm on you like I'm on you. Because you the one sitting up there talking about everybody doing it. You got child molester commercials, clergy molesting children, while you got 44 states married children. While you got that going on, you got a commercial talking about what the religious ministers did, right? And trying to get compensation. But you ain't talking nothing about your government with 44 states of child marriage. I wonder if all those people that started those commercials know about this. Pretty sure they don't. Pretty sure they don't. Pretty sure when they started making those videos, they ain't know nothing about 44 states married children now, did they? But you got commercials trying to give people compensation for being molested by religious ministers. And in my opinion, because that's the only thing you're doing, it's an assault on religion. That's what it is. Come on. Why are you just now doing it then? Why take you 22 decades and 3 decades to get compensation for somebody? I don't even trust that. I don't trust that. You should have been done that. Hey, most of those cases go back to what? The 60s and the 70s and the 80s? I'm not the smartest man in the world, but you should have been doing that. You should have been on that. Why are you just now doing this? That's a valid question. You could have been done it. You could have been done it. But now all of a sudden you want to paint this picture like the religious people are the ones doing it. Well, you want me to tell you who really doing it? Who's doing it more than any Catholic ever did it? You want me to tell you who's doing it more than anybody? Your government with 44 states with child marriage. I think that's worse than a clergyman molesting children. I think that's worse than what the Catholics did altogether, because you're passing a law to do it. You're not creeping around like some creepy Catholic pedophile from the past. You're not creeping around like one of those guys from the past. You're going straight up to the laws and governments and passing these laws. That's a 7. With a straight face. I can't make this up. You can't make it up, man. Ain't no way you can make this up. It's too crazy to not be real. Why you worried about what we did in our childhood? Stuff like that, right? Stuff like that. But you got 44 states marrying children, which politicians put that into law. And none of your present politicians are talking about it now, are they? Did you hear Joe Biden talk about it yet? And did you hear Kamala Harris, which is a former prosecutor? Oh yeah, you forgot about that part, didn't you? I didn't. She was a prosecutor. You know what a prosecutor is? I'm pretty sure the felons know. The thugs know what a prosecutor is. Do all you suburban, out of touch people that live in the suburbs, do y'all know what a prosecutor is? This is what Kamala Harris was, a prosecutor. Do you know what a prosecutor do? It brings people to justice. It gets justice. A prosecutor gets justice by using the American justice system. It gets justice for victims. You don't think that Kamala Harris had some victims of sex acts? You don't think she had some people in there that did things to children? You don't think she prosecuted any child molesters? That part. That's a 7. You don't think Kamala Harris brought any sex predators to charges? So how she get in the White House and completely ignore 44 states married children? This is the only question. This is the most solid question I got for her. I mean, this is your field, the laws and everything. I can't make this up. It's not Joe Biden's field. It's your field. It's your field. It's your career. It's the vocation that you chose. But yet you come in the White House and you don't have none of that perspective or eye, or you don't have none of that you're not using none of your expertise as a president. She's a president, guys. Guys, she's a president. And she's being a prosecutor. She's now obviously a former prosecutor. She had to bring sex predators and child molesters to charges. She prosecuted them. So how can she completely ignore, if she really was a true prosecutor at heart, seeking justice and standing up for what's right and being justice, embodying justice? How come she ain't embodying justice right now with 44 states marrying children? How come she's not embodying the justice that she once embodied? That's a 7. Because what I believe is it's the system itself acts like a mob, a gang, a mafia. Not a good one, but they try to operate like one. You got 44 states with child marriage, guys. You got to make up your mind what you're going to do. I already made up my